Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone and thanks for joining us. Well, a state Labor government would sell off Tasmania's share of Marinus Link as the election standoff over power prices continues. They say it would still see the undersea power cable get built, but also help the budget's bottom line by $500 million. The Liberals claim such a move would sink the project.
Charged up about the high-priced Marinus Link, Labor's got a plan to build it and keep the budget in check.
Tasmania shouldn't have to pay for the costs associated, given that largely the rest of the country are the ones to benefit.
Announcing they'll activate a contract clause once the giant electricity cable to Victoria is built, selling our 17% share to the federal government and recouping $500 million.
It means that we can redirect that money into what we think Tasmania really needs, which is more generation.
Underlining their support for the project, as the Liberals claim otherwise.
Under Labor and the Greens, Marinus is completely dead. It's kaput. They're pulling the plug.
Michael Ferguson, who wanted that clause in the contract, and now is hyperventilating about somebody saying they actually want to execute it.
With businesses demanding extra power and little of it to spare, the Liberals say they'll change laws to allow large new energy projects without going through Parliament.
We're seeing a lot of interstate and indeed overseas investors drawn to Tasmania. We're saying, well, let's build it ourselves.
The idea that we would take away an essential plank of scrutiny is laughable, frankly.
Energy's become a key election battleground, with the Liberals promising a rebate this year and Labor a permanent cut. But with a squeeze on power and renewable projects stuck in the mud, Clean Energy Tasmania wants to see a policy debate.
I'm happy to talk about energy policy until the cows come home. I'd be fascinated to get in a room and hear Mr Winter.
I would love to debate the Liberal Party on their failures on energy for 10 years.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
The Greens are arguing Tasmania should follow the lead of Finland and some other European countries by implementing income-based fines, saying it would be more equitable.
People on very high incomes, the fines are set at a level where there's no disincentive to break the law. But for people on the lowest incomes, for many of them, it can tip them over the edge.
So you've got people who go back into the community, are never going to be able to pay their fines, even if they're on a plan.
Under their plan, it would apply to state fines such as traffic infringements. The Liberals won't consider it. Relieving bed block, investing in new technology and better support for GPs are top of the AMA's election wish list. It's called on the state government to work with the Commonwealth to support GPs, also requesting investments in robotic surgery at the LGH and collaboration with private providers.
We have problems across the board. Every domain of health is struggling in Tasmania, and we really need to get stuck into our key priorities.
The group also says a public health campaign targeting rising rates of vaping in young people is desperately needed.
It needs to be aimed effectively, and it needs to go out across social media. It needs to go away in places that the young people are going to see it.
The AMA also wants changes to the current complaints process, saying natural justice principles need to be applied. Visitors and residents in the Central Highlands are being urged to stay vigilant as firefighters continue battling bushfires in the region. The Tasmania Fire Service says they're racing to have the fire ground ready ahead of predicted dangerous conditions on Wednesday. While several fires have been brought into containment lines, watch and act warnings remain in place for Dee, Brady's Lake, Tarraleah and surrounding areas. The Fire Service says a blaze at Osterley remains challenging due to the terrain, with machines being used to create fire breaks. Victoria Police is now involved in the investigation that ended Taran Thomas's career at North Melbourne. It's understood investigators from a family violence unit have spoken to the former North Launceston player. Authorities confirming they're seeking to learn more on the AFL's findings of making threats to an ex-partner. Thomas was handed an 18-week AFL ban, but the Kangaroos came over the top and sacked him. He won't be allowed to play AFL this year, but can play at a lower level from late July. Thousands of first responders will descend on Tasmania next year for the Australasian Police and Emergency Services Games. Paramedics, police officers, state emergency service personnel and others will face off in more than 50 sports.
Sometimes we get to meet each other in some fairly catastrophic conditions, so actually to be able to catch up with people on the sporting field, it's a lot of fun.
The Games were last held in New Zealand, and the understanding is that there was a $10 million uplift in the economy as a result of the Games.
Swimming, cricket, golf and football are some of the sports included. Well, it's like Christmas Day for the Tasmanian thoroughbred industry, with more than $2.5 million changing hands at Quercus Park. The annual Magic Millions yearling sale delivering a mixed bag of results for local breeders, one sale nearing a price record.
50 here. Horses groomed, catalogues at the ready and bids locked in. 24. Hundreds of potential buyers fight it out for the picks of the crop at the Tasmanian yearling sale.
Plenty of people out here just enjoying seeing quality horse flesh, enjoying the amenities, enjoying the great theatre of the auction.
Results slightly down on last year. I sell for 18. Well bought, sir. 90 of 140 lots selling under the hammer for an average price of $31,000, with significant interest from interstate.
Tasmania bats way above its weight, for the amount of horses sold in this state that go to the mainland and compete at the highest level. The state continues to thrive.
This colt from Armidale stud just down the road in Carrick fetching top price today, $145,000, just shy of the Tasmanian record.
Our stallion Needs Further has been extremely well received, and we've been lucky to have some very strong support on our horses.
24,000, what about a single? With all this cash changing hands, the sales are a pretty lucrative place for the 18 local vendors. But for buyers, there's $1.5 million of bonus prize money available each year for locally bred horses.
Magic Millions Tasmanian sale is the best value for money sale in Australia as far as racetrack dollars earned versus dollars of horse flesh sold.
For those breeders lucky enough to lock in a sale, it's the end of a tireless process.
Breeders will be planning their matings in May and June of this year to be selling yearlings 2.5 years later. So there's a hell of a lot of work and investment that goes into today. It's their grand final. There's no tomorrow.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
They're known for bringing smiles to children's wards, and this week the clown doctors are asking Tasmanians to support them. The Humour Foundation is hitting the road for its annual Roadside appeal, raising vital funds for the program's future.
Sparking a little extra joy where it's needed most.
Don't worry, be happy.
These cheeky clown doctors are putting smiles on the dials of sick Tasmanian children.
The whole purpose is to bring joy and laughter to a place that you least expect it.
This duo, part of the motley crew, paying special visits to children's wards across the state, helping turn frowns upside down.
Well, you can always tell when they've arrived because you can hear them, you hear their laughter, you can hear the honking of the horns, you can see the bubbles. Their ability to connect with people, whether they are young children, whether they're parents, carers, is quite remarkable.
To help keep the laughter going, Tasmanians are being urged to dig deep this week and donate to the Humour Foundation's annual Roadside appeal.
It's quite remarkable the support we get from the community here in Tasmania. Since 2016, we've raised over $280,000.
They can tap and go, which is exciting because I don't think everyone has coins in their car anymore.
A team of volunteers hitting the streets aiming to raise $50,000.
Every dollar raised this week in the Tasmanian Roadside Appeal stays in the Tasmanian program.
But before they're out shaking tins, they're letting us in on a little secret.
So we're clown doctors, but we're not real doctors.
We're not real doctors. Not real doctors.
Which might be why they're prescribing laughter as the best medicine. Victoria Esso, 7 Tasmania News.
One of Tasmania's most iconic summer arts festivals is heading north after a spectacular fortnight in Hobart. In its 16th edition, Mona Foma organisers say part of the festival's success lies in serving up a new experience each year.
This is counterintuitive to commercial festivals who want to create a brand that's the same every year and that people can predictably get the same experience.
The event is set to take over Launceston's Cataract Gorge on Saturday, with cult band Tism making a rare public performance. Entry is free. Meanwhile, a live music trial at Salamanca seems to be hitting all the right notes a fortnight after being introduced. Venues along the popular strip are now able to showcase amplified musicians on Sundays. It's hoped the program will lure a steadier stream of visitors to the area.
Well, it's just definitely going to add people. It's proven that wherever music is, that people want to gather, they want to be around it.
And when you've got great young Tasmanians who want to play their music and stuff, we should be promoting it more and more. And as I said, it's a great initiative. It's one we fully support.
The trial will run for the next 12 months before Hobart City Council considers whether to make the change permanent.
The party is rolling on for the Tigers after Saturday's WNCL Grand Final victory over Queensland. The team doesn't plan to stop at 3 in a row as they reflect on some of the season's high points.
A mad Monday to remember for the Tassie Tigers.
Come on, the Tigers!
Hobart CBD coming alive with fancy and not so fancy dress for a celebration 3 years in the making. Luigi, a construction worker, even an Air Force pilot, the costumes of choice. The team's veterans played up to their reputation.
The younger girls in our squad can be a little bit, a bit ageist. And,
very ageist, actually, very ageist.
And we get in trouble sometimes for being over 30 and not knowing what that TikTok thing is and all that sort of stuff.
Today also an opportunity to appreciate Saturday's achievement. From Heather Graham's bowling to Nicola Carey's century, there was plenty of high moments in the grand final victory.
Just to reflect on the last 3 years and the success that we've had, so very excited.
Century maker Carey also playing down her decision to put state before country this season.
Win, lose or draw, I would have been happy with my decision. It was more about just playing more games of cricket, so regardless of the result, I was happy with that decision.
Molly Strano also glad her injury cloud is cleared after spending last week racing to recover from a hand injury.
Bit of a stressful week, but nonetheless, to get the win, it's pretty exciting.
The captain confident they're not ready to sail into retirement just yet.
We don't take any of this stuff for granted. We are closer to the end than the beginning, you would say, but the end could be quite far away.
But for now, the three-peat party is rolling on.
Been a lot of fried food in the last 3 days.
Our nutritionist is here as a Power Ranger. She wouldn't be happy with how I've been treating my body.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Boomers have claimed a walloping 106-51 win over Indonesia at basketball's Asian Cup qualifiers. Tasmania's Taran Armstrong contributing 11 points during Australia's impressive display. Hobart's Jacob Gardner has claimed a gold medal at the Victorian Track and Field Championships, blitzing the field in the under-20s 3,000 metre steeplechase. The 17-year-old finishing in 9 minutes 26 seconds, almost 30 seconds ahead of his closest rival. Across the ditch, and Hobart triathlete Jack Woodbury has taken out the Oceania Junior Triathlon Championship in New Zealand, 3 places ahead of Ulverston's Jack Latham. The two Tassie boys later combining as part of Team Australia to claim the mixed relay triathlon.
Good evening. Hobart 20 today, Launceston and Low Head out top with 23 degrees, Devonport 21 and Burnie 22. So a little below average the temperatures today. Friendly Beaches, Smithton and Flinders Island all 22. Ouse 21. It was 20 at Grove, King Island 19 and Strawn 18 degrees. A few light showers cleared the west and southwest this morning as the low cloud there moved on during the day. A band of mid to high level cloud extends over the southern coast of the mainland, and further north there's convective thunderstorm clouds gathering there. Tomorrow the high moves to our east, a low deepens south of the Bight. Now that low should slip south of Tasmania on Wednesday night. Winds northeast to northwest picking up to 20 to 30 knots over the lower east in the afternoon. So we have a strong wind warning there. That's between Wineglass Bay and Tasman Island. Tuesday in Hobart 25 and mostly sunny. Adventure Bay 24, 24 also for Tarraleah, 4 overnight, a chilly one. 25 for Launceston and partly cloudy, 23 for Devonport, cloudy for Bridport and 24 the maximum. Burnie expecting 21, a cloudy day, partly cloudy for Strawn, 23 the high, 23 also for Marrawar. St Helens 22, partly cloudy for Swansea on 25 degrees, 23 the top on Flinders Island at Whitemark. However, showers will extend statewide during Wednesday, expected over Launceston late afternoon to evening, so probably after the Cup. Hobart 31 with increasing showers, mainly fine on Thursday, just a possible shower over the west and central east coast. Showers over the west on Friday, fine and partly cloudy for the rest of the state. Sunny and warm in Perth, a hot one on the way in Adelaide, 36 there. Sunny and warm in Melbourne, cloudy in Sydney, 31 in Brisbane and fine. A storm though about Darwin. Mostly sunny in Hobart, it's 18 currently, 23 in Launceston, OK2 in Devonport and 22 degrees. Very strange Monday for me, Kim. Normally all day today I would have been working at my full-time profession, but considering I retired from that last week, I find myself with nothing much to do. But I am planning on joining a Scrabble club. Do you think you could put a good word in for me?
I don't think I'm a good referee for you. Thanks for that joke. Was a bit below average, a bit like the weather, huh? That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.